Hey fans, viewers, and listeners, welcome to another exciting episode of Fight Insight Podcast. I'm your co-host for today, Raine Cruz, also known as Ringside Raine, ring announcer for Up Next Fighting. And with me as always is Timmy B. Today, we will have our interview with the LFA flyweight champion, the MMA Barbie, Shannon Clark. Plus, we will have Alana, the Alanamal cook, who will join us to talk about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Who do you guys think will win this bout? All that and more. So what are we waiting for? Tim, hit it! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fight Insight Podcast.
All right, Raine. I know that you always hate spending time with me alone, so I got a second guest for the podcast today. There is, as you said, we've got Shannon Clark at the end of this episode. So if you're here just to watch Shannon Clark, skip ahead maybe about 30 minutes or so, and you will see the LFA flyweight champion. It's a great interview, Raine. I mean, we recorded it already, but it is fantastic. Right now, though, I'm going to bring in a good friend of mine, a good friend of the podcast. She is an MMA fighter of her own regard. She used to be out in British Columbia, but now she moved out into Ontario, just in the Niagara Falls region. She's training at Niagara Top Team with a bunch of killers out there. Of course, she's a killer herself. She's also a pizza eating machine, which she's going to talk to us about. She's a dog lover, Raine, so she's part of your crew. And of course, she does excellent work with Walking Like Warriors, as we've talked before on this podcast, which helps out Indigenous youth and Indigenous women with education and training, which is fantastic. So we support her in everything she does, Raine. But she's going to come on now so we can talk some trash about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Raine, bring her in.
Please welcome Alana, the Alanamal cook.
What's up, guys? How's it going? That was a good intro,
man?
Raine. I like it. That's awesome.
Thank you.
This is the first time you two have met, because the first time I had Alana on, Raine was not a co-host as of yet. And then the other time Alana came on was to pinch hit for me when, Raine, you couldn't come around. So There we go. Welcome, all my friends.
Yeah, no, it's always really good to be back. So Timmy and I are always messaging each other. So today's like, hey, want to come talk some shit about Jake Paul? And I was like, oh, baby, it's Monday. Let's start this week off right. Let's go.
Yeah. You know why, Alana? Because I got into a fight with some people at the gym. So I'm like, this topic is too hot not to continue. The thing is, Raine, last week we had Kelsey Santis on, who got screwed over, Alana. Like, I want to ask you another question too, but Kelsey Santis got screwed over in her fight with Clarissa Shields, and the stuff she talks about, Raine, I was getting people messaging me like constant about that interview that we had. One girl starts messaging me. She's a friend of Kelsey's and was in Saudi Arabia or wherever it was that they were fighting. And she shows me a video. I think it's okay that I say it. I'm not going to play it. She shows me a video. Alana, Kelsey was talking about how like PFL was essentially just ignoring her. Like they changed the rules of the fight. They didn't put her into media day. They didn't have her in the open workouts. They changed the rules last minute. I didn't catch it, Raine. I didn't even understand what she said. They had her walk to the cage and then made her turn around and walk back again because they said there was something with it. What the frig? Alana, that is some super BS.
Yeah, man. Like, if you want to mess with a fighter, you really can. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be mentally tough, but definitely things like that, it does chip away at you. Like, I know, like, I have a lot of respect for Clarissa Shields. I think she's a dynamite fighter, but I also thought it was a little, it's really unprofessional that, right before the fight, they're like, oh, actually, you got to go up 10 pounds. And then I see Clarissa Shields, like some guys commenting on her Instagram. He's like, you missed weight. And she's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, well, yeah, because you changed 10 pounds like the day before. You know what I mean? Oh. Like, man, like the same thing happened to, like, I trained with Jasmine Jasavicius, and like same thing happened, man. Like, this chick, Priscilla Cachoeira, right before the fight, she's like, oh, I can't make this. Oh, I can't make this. And, maybe that's a whole nother topic for a podcast, but just these changes that people put so much time, they want to make the fight happen. And I feel like sometimes fighters and organizations will take advantage of that. So, yeah, I don't know. Don't agree with that at all.
But here's the thing, Alana. Like, from what Kelsey says and from what I believe, I think Clarissa Shields knew all along it was going to be at 160. Right? Never pushes it. They tell her the day before, no elbows. Then, get this. Okay, so Raine, I always feel like our show should be daily, because there's too much to talk about all the time. But I want to follow up on this because the girl sends me a video. She was with Kelsey at the event. She shows me a video of it's like a media event or something. And there's Clarissa and there's all the media talking to her and whatever. And Clarissa's standing there like this, And then the camera goes and then it shows, and there's Kelsey literally in the crowd. And nobody fucking knows it's her. Nobody's asking her questions. I'm like, this is so BS, because if you're a member of the media, of course you'd want to talk to the opponent too. How could you possibly be an unbiased media reporter?
Did Kelsey come over from Bellator, or was she with PFL?
She was neither. She was new to the organization.
Oh, that was her first fight. What a welcoming, eh?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, go watch it. But Raine, the video of showing there's Clarissa, and then the camera pans and there's Kelsey just standing there. What the frick? It is so messed up. Alana, you're a professional fighter. You've already kind of said it. This shit can mess you up, right?
Yeah. I'd like to think that I would just go up and grab the microphone, right? But you also don't want to piss off the promotion, right? So it's that careful line. You want to do just enough that you get your name out there, but you don't want to piss off the powers that be, because they can make or break you, right? They can.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't get a chance to watch that fight, but from what I hear, it was close. I know Kelsey is a good fighter, and that I don't know if it was more judging or if Clarissa edged her out, but I don't know. It doesn't really sound like they gave her a fair shot.
Here's the thing, Alana. It's close enough that you can understand it's a split decision. Okay? It's close enough. But what is the tipping point is all the shit she says that gets told. And why the hell is a pro fight being done with no elbows?
Yes, that's extremely weird. What?
When you're a boxer and I'm most susceptible to elbows, or when I'm on the ground, those elbows getting landed on me.
Were they the only match, or was every fight no elbows?
No, they're the only fight that's no elbows.
That's messed up. That's really messed up.
But Alana, I do want to say, because people were arguing with me in the comments, if you're a professional, you should be able to go through all that shit, blah, blah. No, man, this is there's such a mental aspect to the game. In baseball, you think there's a thing called icing the pitcher, where if you just back away from the plate, the pitcher gets freaked out of their comfort zone. That's just to throw a ball.
Thank you for explaining that to me, because I don't know anything about baseball, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna. But no, I agree, right? Yes, a fighter, we've got a lot of tools in our tool belt, but some are sharper than others. You know what I mean? There's some we are perfecting. These are the tools that we've been getting ready, that we've been using. Yes, we can pull something out, right? But it doesn't mean we're going to perform at our best. So yeah, I think that just mentally and performance wise, they could have told her that at the beginning of camp. Be a totally different camp, totally different game plan. And more power to Kelsey then, that she was able to rise to the occasion and do as well as she did, when it sounds like there was a lot stacked against her.
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, Raine, I do have to say, because we didn't talk about it too much after the interview, but it's crazy how much Kelsey told us. I'm like, are you gonna get fired for this? She goes off a lot. But it's been pretty crazy, it's been a crazy week of watching that story unfold. I'm doing my best to get other media and stuff to pick it up. But that's the thing. It's so weird too. It's the media is ignoring this story. Nobody asked, if you're the media, nobody's asking questions about why there's no elbows. Nobody's asking questions where is her opponent? The whole week leading up, we're in goddamn Saudi Arabia, Qatar, wherever they were. There's not much else to do. Where's the opponent? Why can't we talk to her? It's the first female fight ever in that country. How come I only see one of the people? Why are you only showing me the one girl? And I don't know if they did that because they're we don't want you to talk to the girl because of all the shit we did to her. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, exactly. Well, I'd still love to fight for PFL one day, so I can't talk too much shit. But hopefully, I'm not fighting Clarissa Shields anytime soon. If that's
no, what do you mean, Alana? You should be. Well, first of all, Kelsey wants the rematch, but you should be proponing for that fight. I don't even know what.
I think PFL needs to pick up a 135 division, man. Like it's awesome that they're putting like these 155, 145. They even got the 125ers, but 135 is such a dynamite division, and there's so many up and comers. Like you check out the topology for Canada, all the big girls, all the big names right now are 135ers. So I
Right.
think that there's more than enough talent, and I would argue there's more talent in the 135s than there is in the 145s. Like man,
Yeah.
like we'll fight at 145 if I have to, but I know that I'm my leanest, my meanest, and my most skilled when I'm fighting at 135. So yeah, PFL, you guys gotta make it happen.
Call her. Call the Alanamal.
The Alanamal is
Give me
waiting.
2 months, heal up my knee, and then I'll be good to go.
Yeah. Now, so you were supposed to be on the Palace Athena fighting card, Palace Athena Women's Fighting Championship card that was this last weekend. I do want to give a shout out very quickly to friends of the podcast, which Alanamal, you've been on this update many times, but friends of the podcast for this week, I want to shout out RageWorksNetwork.com. Always check them out for audio podcasts like us. Assembly member Matt Haney, Raine. Assembly member Matt Haney, he's the guy, Alanamal, that put the MMA pension on the map in California. He's the guy that got it done. I've never done a Friends of the Podcast update where we talk about a political victory, but he blew his opponents out of the water in some sort of vote that he just had. I don't really know what it is. I think maybe it was to continue being an assembly member, but he was successful. So congratulations to Matt Haney. He's a great guy.
If we had that in BC, I'd be halfway to a pension right now. That's so sick.
I know. Well, Alana, if you check out that podcast, you'll realize as long as you fight in California, you earn the pension. So it applies to everybody. Big Sam, he's the guy that we had on our podcast. He's an influencer. He's the guy that is famous for smoking Pringles. He like lights Pringles on fire and smokes them. He's got a boxing match on March 16th with Hype Boxing. So good luck to Big Sam. Then we go to Palace Athena, friends of the podcast. Regan Gowing won her Muay Thai fight. Andy Wynn won her fight. Congratulations to her. Her walkout costume was so badass, Raine. She was dressed up like a Kill Bill chick. Kate Batchick wins the she wins the bantamweight title. And Alana, talking about weird stuff, her opponent did not make weight. There was some whole drama, so then she ended up having to accept the weight at a higher weight class.
Yeah, okay, it was because I thought I saw it was for the flyweight belt. That's what I thought I saw, and then they wrote bantamweight belt. So I was okay. Thank you for shedding some light on that because I was curious about that.
Yeah, so her opponent didn't make weight, blah blah blah, and then I was really upset because I'm like, well, shit, Kate flies all the way from England for this fight, and then now even if she wins, she's not a champ. But then they've made it a bantamweight, so that they could, I guess, still afford there to be a belt, right? So,
which is interesting because Melissa Croden is the bantamweight champ right now. So like maybe that's the fight to make her PAW FC4.
Well, who knows, Alana? All I know is that our friend Kate Magic has the title. Mia Graw, she was on the podcast before. She won a fight on the weekend, and so did Willow Big Dick Morton. She won her fight as well. So congratulations to all our friends. Last thing is I will be April 12th and 13th. I will be out at Fight League Atlantic. I will be picking up another staff badge as I'm going to be commentating both the Submission Kumite 6 event on the Friday, and I will be commentating the MMA event, FLA 14 on the Saturday. Go check out fightleagueatlantic.com. And Raine, you will be ring announcing.
Yep, for UNF 17, March 30th. Where Gianni Vasquez will be defending his, I believe, flyweight title.
Yeah, baby. I'm so excited for Gianni. I'm so excited for more Raine. Raine, your Instagram is going crazy with all the pictures and the videos of your last announcing. They're flooding their media with you now.
Well, because I had them to collaborate, and then they, luckily they accept to collaborate.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, they don't leave you unread, right?
It's kind of hurtful, right? You're like just still waiting. Like you can accept my
So that's all our friends of the podcast update. Now, also I want to announce Alana Cook competed in a pizza eating contest.
Yeah, buddy.
What were the toppings?
Oh man. So just to give you a little background. So I was supposed to fight at PAW FC 3, which, man, that was heartbreaking. I was so excited. I've been at Niagara Top Team since August and just getting so much better, I feel, in like every way. I was so ready. And then 4 weeks before the fight, I was wrestling and I tore my meniscus. Got an MRI. They called me the next day and they were like, "You're getting surgery tomorrow." It's like that bad. So it was a really well turnaround time. We also lost one of our training partners at the gym, Ashley Nichols. So it was, it was a really rough month, and like it was, it's so sad. And then you're following PAW FC too, and I'm seeing like my opponent gets a new match, which I'm grateful for, because that always
who was your opponent?
Danielle Curtis. So she actually wound up winning against Lexi Rook. So like good for her. I'm really glad.
Drop bear.
Yeah, the drop bear. It would have been drop bear versus Alanamal. Would have been fun.
That would have been a great fight.
But yeah, so I'm not in a good place. I'm just kind of sad. I'm healing. And then Boyan, who does the Thick Boy fight card, texts me. He's like, "Yo, do you want to do the pizza eating contest next week?" And I was like, "Man, I'm in a leg brace on crutches. Yes, this is going to be hilarious." So that was a show where Willow won, but me and my teammate Clay Pie, so he was the reigning king, and I'm not really a big shit talker, but man, am I good at it. So we were having a war that got more Instagram traffic for Thick Boy than like the main event. It was hilarious. Like we sold tickets because we were talking such a good game. Nice. We get there, they call him out. He's dressed as a king. They call me out. I'm hobbling on my crutches to the cage, crawling up the stairs. Oh man, we had so much fun with it. And actually Cesar Bonilla, the Hulk. So he won by a crust. So we've got a new king, but yeah, it was experience, and it was silly, it was fun to do. Yeah.
How much pizza did you eat in how much amount of time?
I don't know how much time, but when they finished, I'd finished half my pizza, which I'm impressed. I was fighting above my weight class. I had a bit of an adrenaline dump. And, at the first bite, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, like when you go to fight, like you don't want to eat. So like you get all the nerves. I'm like, I can't do this. And I had to like mentally be like, oh, you got this, Alana. And I just started like shoveling the pizza out. I like had sauce on my face, just went feral. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It gave me a new respect for competitive eaters. I think anything you do in front of a crowd, as simple as it seems, it gives you some nerves. And I told my coaches and he laughed at me, but it was good, like fight experience, like the feeling of walking to the ring or hobbling to the ring, the music's playing, the crowd's cheering, you get in the cage. And like, I actually was like, oh, like I have a little bit of that tunnel vision I sometimes get when I'm getting in the cage, and like the lights feel hot. And, even like being like, oh, I'm full, I can't do this. And then being like, I have to push through and finish. So, if there's an announcement to anybody, anywhere who's a fighter, like take every opportunity you can to get in the cage, even if it's like, announcing, if it's, being a coach, being a cornerman, the more time you spend in that cage and in that environment, the more comfortable you get with it. So, yeah, it was kind of silly, but yeah, I'm really glad I did. And it was a really fun experience.
All right. The next time we see you in a cage, we want to see you punching someone in the face, though, not eating a pizza. But that's fine. We'll allow this one.
That's the plan, man. So I think POF C4 is happening in September. So hopefully they get me on there. I'm ready, man. Let's go. Lana wants to get back to it.
And after you get the win, you're going to celebrate by eating pizza.
Oh, I don't know if I can. Now that's competition food, right? There. That's weird.
Okay, let's get to talking about why you're here, Alana, aside from just having fun, of course. But on the weekend or whatever it was last week, they announced this. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on Netflix. Raine, this is what you and I talked about. We said that fights need to go on Netflix. Remember, we said this. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Netflix executives were listening to the Fight Insight podcast. They now signed Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
I thought this was an episode of Black Mirror at first. I'm like, oh, that's cute. The new season's out. How ridiculous. And then I'm like, oh, wait, that's real.
Raine, what was your first thoughts when you saw it?
I basically have the big why over my head. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Okay. They have not announced if this is exhibition or pro fight. Alana, your thoughts?
Well, it was really interesting, actually. So I don't know a ton about Jake Paul. My manager hates him, so like everything I know is just so I can send it to my manager to piss him off.
Right. Yeah.
I love Mike Tyson though. I've always been a huge Mike Tyson
Yep.
fan. I love his style. So I actually listened to a podcast that came out last year where Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are talking. And this was something that was really interesting was Jake Paul, you know, it was his first loss he just experienced. And Mike Tyson said, when I had my first loss, that's when I started making money. Because that's when people started betting on me and being like, oh, this guy, like, he can lose, you know, like, he's like, I started making a lot more money after my first loss, which I thought was really interesting. So I think that planted a little seed in Jake's mind. And like, you know, I'm still against it, man. Like, Mike, you got everything to lose and nothing really to gain. But if they're gonna, you know what, they're gonna make that paper, and you know, power to them. But I am sad to see it.
Okay, but hold on. You're going off on different tangents, which I want to get to. But the question is this an exhibition or pro fight? What do you think it's going to be?
Exhibition.
Okay. Raine, exhibition or?
I hope it's just an exhibition.
Okay, so then I'm going to go to Raine first. What does it mean if it's an exhibition? Like in your mind, what's the difference between the two?
Well, first of all, you're talking about like honestly for me, even though Jake Paul has had, you know, other boxing fights on his record, I don't know why in my head I still don't consider him like a full-fledged, like, you know, boxer, right? Compared to other boxers. I don't know why. I still see him as an influencer, right? Yeah. So if I see them on a match at Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, I cannot really see this as a pro fight at all. Like no matter what, I'm just going to see this as an exhibition fight.
So you just mean because of the respect thing for the sport?
Probably, yeah. Like Mike Tyson, I'll see him forever as a boxer. His legacy, I respect that and all that. I'm not saying I don't respect Jake Paul at all. I just think he's more of like an influencer versus a boxer.
Okay. Alanamal, what's your angle on saying it's an exhibition? Why are you saying exhibition?
So I don't want Mike to take an L to Jake Paul.
Okay, because, right. Hold on. Because, sorry, you said you don't want Mike to get an L to Jake Paul because you're saying I wouldn't want Mike Tyson, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, to have an actual loss on his record to Jake Paul.
Man, a fight's a fight. Anything can happen. Yeah. And like the guy's an absolute animal. Like he's 57, but he's still such a tiger and watching the way. But again, like Jake Paul, he's young, he's in his prime. Anything can happen. So I just there's too much spectacle around it too. You know what I mean? And I like Raine what you say about that. Like it's almost like you almost kind of feel for Jake because it's like, what is he going to do to prove that he's like a pro boxer? Like he has actually have some pretty impressive exploits. But I think it's almost like the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight all over again, right? Like maybe even if it's a serious fight, there's so much spectacle around it. It just doesn't seem real. I don't know.
So here's my take. Let's go off a little bit. I think if it's an exhibition, it can be rigged. Am I wrong in that, Alana? I feel like an exhibition, there's really no rules per se. So like if it's an exhibition, I could definitely behind the scenes go, hey, Mike, you're going to lose this fight. And you're not going to kill me. You're not going to punch me in the face too hard, right? Like this is our agreement. And then it's an exhibition. Am I right in that, Alana, or am I wrong in that?
No, I think you're 100% right. And if they both, with an exhibition, they both have a lot less to lose, right? So it's for fun, and they still make all the money, right? They don't have to like really worry about it too. But like, like whether Jake Paul actually has the official Mike Tyson pro fight on his record, or whether he just has the bragging rights. Yeah, I beat him in an exhibition fight. It's still you got to win over Tyson. And then for Tyson, like I think it could be kind of fun for him in the exhibition sense too. But again, like. Man, he's getting older, and it's like I feel like he doesn't need to do stuff like this. I don't know if it's for money or if it's just for the thrill of it, just to get ready for something. Maybe he feels like this isn't embarrassing for him. You know what I mean? Rather than going against somebody who maybe has a bit more legitimacy in the sport.
Like I was getting in. Okay, so my big thing that I was getting into fights with people at the gym was they were saying I'm stupid for thinking that this can be rigged. And I'm like, no, the minute this is an exhibition, you can rig this thing.
Hmm.
Like, there's no rules to say that you can't rig it if it's an exhibition.
I would look me in the eyes and tell me there's no corruption in boxing, buddy. Like,
this
really?
is what I don't like, even on the pro level, this is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand why people think. First of all, I don't understand why people think this is real at all. Like, if it's an exhibition, it's 100%. Like, I get it. You're sparring. You're going to hit each other hard, blah, blah, blah. But there's going to be some sort of agreement there. And here's my thing. If it's a pro fight, I hate it. Because Mike Tyson's goddamn 57. He's going to be 58 by the time that this fight runs around. Jake Paul is 30 years younger than him. Juiced up, young kid, hungry, wants to make his career off this fight. Even if it is an exhibition, he's going to embarrass you or he's going to do something bad. 58 years old, I don't care. Like, it's that 30 years is crazy. And I think Mike Tyson, if it's a pro fight, I hate it because I think Jake's going to win, just age alone. Forget the fact that Mike Tyson has bad sciatica and sometimes needs to be in a wheelchair. Like,
and it's not that just he's like a regular 57-year-old. He's a 57-year-old who was a boxer since he was in his 20s, right? Like, his shoulders, his knees, it's going to be so much more shot than like a regular 57-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. He's in great shape, but he's going to break.
Yeah. Things are brittle. Things have had injuries before. Like, when you're old, I'm in my late 40s. You like, if I get a cramp, I'm out for like a week. Like, my body doesn't heal anymore, man. Like, it's like, so no matter what he does. And then here's the other thing: when he fought Roy Jones Jr. and his other recent fights, he's not like going for the kill anymore. Like, that hunger to kill people like he used to, wanting to make orphans of their children and stuff like that, right? Like, that's not the Mike Tyson anymore. So I hate Jake getting a win over a guy and being able to claim that he beat Mike Tyson. You didn't beat Mike Tyson. You beat Mike Tyson. You know what I mean?
Michael Tyson. Yeah. There.
Here's the other thing. If it's an exhibition fight, guarantee Jake Paul wins. There is no...
Bless you.
Thank you.
There is no way Jake Paul loses an exhibition fight. And I hate that too.
Yeah.
Like, Alana, what do you like? Do you see anything wrong with what I'm saying? Like, do you see any path to victory?
No, and like, it's so, like, again, just listening to this, like, I don't know if they had some beef or something this year, but this podcast they did together, they both are talking to each other with so much respect in their voice and appreciation. Like, Jake's like, man, like, you won the world title the year I was born. Like, you were a huge inspiration to me. And Mike's like telling him, like, you know, man, even though like you came from YouTube, like, have pride in yourself as a boxer. And like, it was a very respectful conversation that leads me to be like, you know what, this is an act. This is for money. This is for fun, which makes me think it is going to be exhibition. Mm-hmm. So like, unless there's something I don't know about that I didn't, they had like a big brawl or a big blow up or something like that. Like, I think both men have a lot of mutual respect for each other. And yeah, I gotta get going though, guys. I got my physio appointment behind me. Just gonna give a little shout out to Polino Athletic Performance Center. If you're in Niagara Falls, they are taking very good care of me as I heal up from my injury. They got the cold plunge pools, they got the saunas, the red light, the PMF. They all got all that good stuff. The people are great. So yeah, little shout out. And thanks, guys. Fights and Sight podcast. Thanks for having me. Always a good time.
Yeah, Alana. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah. All right. Raine, we're going off that. We're still talking about it. Mm-hmm. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that it can't be freaking real?
No, I mean, honestly, that's why I had that big why. Like, you know, when I first heard about this, because it's like, clearly, for me, I see it as for show. And I feel bad that Mike Tyson, you know, is going into this fight or this boxing match, because to me, he's older, way older than Jake Paul. I don't know what kind of damage he's going to get. And I don't know how it would really benefit him. because I feel like he had proven his worth as a boxer. So like, going back to like, is it exhibition or pro fight? I mean, I think it's just mostly just exhibition. It's honestly, I think it's just about the story of like this legendary boxer. He's way older now, and then now he's fighting this guy who wants to prove his right to be in the boxing world. I think that's the story that they're trying to sell, and no matter what, it's gonna sell tickets and pay-per-view views. So
yeah, but the thing is though, is like, it doesn't prove anything if it's an exhibition. I just hate that Mike is doing it. It's like in the wrestling business when someone puts over someone. This is what we talked about this. Like, I swear, like, was it the last podcast or whatever, right? Like going, oh, like I'm giving the fight to the younger generation, passing the torch. There's no such thing here. So it's like, why would Mike do this? Like, I don't understand if it can only be a money thing, because there is absolutely no win for him in this. Like, not even like winning the fight. I just mean like there's no benefit to him doing this. He's popular as shit.
Yeah. And I mean,
he's one of the greatest boxers of all time. He's got a great cartoon. If you haven't watched Mike Tyson Mysteries on Netflix, fantastic cartoon. He's got his weed farm or whatever, Tyson Ranch, the gummies. Unless it's a financial thing, which God help him that he's not bankrupt again. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess like for him, maybe he knows that there's nothing for him to lose. He had proven his worth in the boxing world. So maybe to him, this is just him kind of like, having fun, trying to show the world that he still got it, basically.
But you don't think you lose part of your allure as an indomitable spirit in boxing? You don't think you lose something to your legacy by losing to Jake Paul? Personally,
for me, I think you'd lose something, if you lose to Jake Paul. But maybe he just doesn't see it that way. That's why he accepted to fight.
I think that a bunch of the Jake Paul fights have been rigged. Mm-hmm. Okay. By virtue of multiple of his opponents have face planted in their fights. Like when they lose, like they literally fall on their face, right? Ric Flair style. Mm-hmm. That, you know how hard it is to knock someone out and have them face plant? Like, you never see that in real. Yet multiple of his opponents have done that. And I don't know why people don't question that. And again, I'm getting people at the gym going, Tim, are you crazy? His fights are real. Of course this is real. Ugh. If Mike Tyson takes a dive to the point where he face plants, give me a break. No fucking way. Like, it just doesn't happen, Raine. Like George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva, like, they weren't knocking people out the exact same way, the guy falling the exact same way. This isn't a video game. This isn't Mortal Kombat. Like, I don't know, Raine. I don't like this at all. I think this whole thing is a bad idea. I think someone's told Mike Tyson that this is a good idea, and it's not. You could have done anything. You could have done a reality show where you train boxers, or like you could do a series. You could do a training series for Netflix. 6 episodes of Mike Tyson training Jake Paul. Yeah,
that would be really good, actually, because like, like, again, like for me, I see Jake Paul as more of an influencer versus a boxer. But then I feel like if I see something like this, we're in like a Netflix season of like Mike Tyson training Jake Paul, that would be interesting for me to watch. And it's like, oh my God, he's actually getting trained by like this legendary boxer. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I know. Do anything cool, anything interesting. Except for this stupid fight that I swear to God is so fake. Even if let me explain this. Even if they say it's a pro fight, I still think it's rigged.
Maybe they'll have the reality show after the fight. It's going to tie up to the fight.
Tyson's still alive. Like, and for anybody that says Mike Tyson has a chance, I think you're also insane. Like, everybody's got a chance, right? Of course, you could throw a punch and knock him out. But 57, 58 years old against a 30-year-old?
Yeah, who's in his prime and wants to prove, that he belongs in a boxing world. So, I don't know. Because you're talking about someone just like having, I feel like Mike Tyson is having fun, you know, trying to show everyone, hey, I still got it. And then you got Jake Paul. He's like hungry. He just wants to prove to everyone that, hey, I deserve this spotlight right here.
Yeah. And we're going to go down in history now for the rest of Earth's existence with people going, Jake Paul knocked out Mike Tyson.
Mm.
I don't want to live on that earth, Raine. It's so stupid. Like it's so dumb that people would be willing to sell out to give up their name, give up their legacy for this. Like, even if it's exhibition and we know it's a little bit fake or a little bit rigged, I still don't like it. It's still stupid. And then if it's pro fight, I'm gonna go crazy. I can't. It's so silly. But I don't know. Anyways, what's going on with you, Raine? Anything else before we get to our interview with, of course, Shannon Clark? She is the LFA flyweight champion. We did the interview, like I said, at the top of the podcast. We said, we did this last week or a couple weeks ago. It is very exciting. Oh, I know what I have to do. I have to tell you who our guest is next week. You do not know.
No, I don't.
All right. It is not.
I was going to say, is it Chuck Buffalo?
God damn it! It's not Chuck Buffalo. He's. I think he might be ghosting me now. But Raine, take a guess at who our guest is.
Oh God! If it's not Chuck Buffalo, is it Chris Cyborg? No.
Oh, that would have been a good one. Trying for her too.
Not Johnny Vasquez.
No,
he has an upcoming fight though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Who?
Okay. It is the guy on this video.
For your winner, by way of disqualification, Joshua Palacio. So Joshua.
Wow. That's
and
awesome.
If you don't think I'm telling him that you were cheering for the other guy because he's Filipino, you're crazy, Raine. I'm telling him. For those not on video, that is Jared the Monkey God Brooks from ONE FC. He's the guy that lost his title in a extremely controversial way. The spike to the head, the immediate DQ. After celebrating the victory, after Herb Dean looks like he called it off due to a stoppage, then they call it. They take his title away, and it's all freaking gone. Jared Brooks is on the podcast. We're going to talk to him about this whole freaking thing. He seems very nice about it all. He seems very apologetic for the spike and all that, which, by the way, is not on purpose at all. So
yeah, that's just how it landed.
Sorry that it happened, but not sorry that I did it. He seems very apologetic, Raine. I'm so surprised that this guy is so mature and so respectful of this situation. If I was Jared Brooks, I'd be on the internet 24/7 screaming bloody murder that I got robbed. So I'm going to try and fire up the monkey god and make him freaking mad because I want to know, like, what the hell happened, dude? Did you know that this is a thing? Did you know that you lost your title at what? Like, you seem so heartbroken, obviously. Like, what the hell is happening? What's happening with you? What's happening with the promotion? Are they going to give you another fight? Like, what the hell's going on? And how mad are you at the crowd for cheering? And how mad are you at that announcer for going, and the winner? Furious, Raine. Furious. I can't wait. Can't wait. Put your Joshua Palacio shirts away. Don't wear them. You can't do that. Anything that you want to say before we get into our interview with Shannon Clark?
No, I just want to say, kudos to Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou. Even though Francis Ngannou got knocked out, I felt like towards the end, just seeing how AJ raised Ngannou's hand as well, I thought that was really nice.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Very respectful, both men. I think they did an interview backstage after the fight and everything too. But Raine, thank you for bringing that up because I will say, I told you so. I told everybody AJ was going to destroy Ngannou. There was no way a full-time professional boxer all his life was going to let some guy that trains at an MMA gym, no offense, but not training pure boxing, not training with a boxing specialist or purist, no way he was going to let Ngannou win. And sure enough, he shuts him down hard.
Yeah.
What's next for Ngannou, Raine?
I don't know. I was actually going to ask you that question because, like, I don't know if that kind of knocked some sense in his head that maybe he should go back to MMA, where he's really good at. I mean, I'm not saying he's not good with boxing, although this could be also he could take this as kind of like, okay, you know what? I got knocked down a few times.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to learn more so I can be better, and then maybe try another boxing bout and then kind of redeem myself. Or he can switch gears and be like, you know what? I know where I'm really, really, really good at, and maybe stick with it.
He's 0-2 as a professional boxer.
Well, yeah, but he's trying.
And now, sure, I could try too and go 0-2, but he's now going to hobble his way back to MMA. I don't see that happening. I don't even know what fight there is now, because he's definitely lost a lot of allure by losing these two back to back. People are going to forget how well he did against Fury now, because now you're all on the Timmy B controversy train, which says Fury took it easy on him, or there was an agreement not to finish him. You're telling me AJ is that much better than Fury? No, something weird was there. That's why that all happened. I don't know. Controversy everywhere. Conspiracy.
I don't know. I maybe I guess like in my head, maybe because of how much Ngannou did well when he fought Fury. I don't know if going into this bout against AJ, he kind of felt like, you know what? I feel like I know what I'm doing. So he felt like more confident going into his bout against AJ. I don't know, but then
no. So now you're putting up the theory that Ngannou took AJ lightly.
No, probably in terms of like prepping for the fight.
No, I know.
For boxing match, yeah.
Like
I'm not saying he took it easy. I'm just saying preparation wise.
Like he felt I'm good. I got this.
Yeah. When you're like trying to prep for something you've never done before, right? And then you got a taste of it, and then you feel like, okay, you know what? I got this. I shouldn't like freak out or like, train that hard, because it's like, I think I got it. And then you try it again. You're like, oh crap, I still have a lot more to learn.
wait, I don't got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We will see what happens. But all right, let's get to our interview with Shannon Clark. That's why people are here, Raine. They want to see the the LFA champion, and go see this LFA flyweight champion. Let's talk to her. Let's figure out what she's all about. It is a fantastic interview. Thank you to everybody for watching, and we'll see you later. Get to the interview. All right, Raine, our guest today is a mom, a wife, a business owner, a financial advisor, but you may know her best as the newly crowned LFA flyweight champion of the world. This Canadian fighter has a perfect professional record of 5-0, following a perfect amateur record of 3-0, and now looks ahead to what's next in her career. With her vicious bulldog choke victory, she made headlines and went viral. So we're very happy to meet her today before she is far too good to speak to people like us, Raine. Welcome her in.
Please welcome Shannon Clark.
Hi.
What's up, Shannon Clark? MMA Barbie.
Hello.
Shannon Clark.
Yeah. Yes.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much. And I do want to say you are the MMA Barbie, but I've never seen MMA Barbie bulldog choke someone as badly as you did that in your title win. How are you feeling a few weeks out?
Good. It settled in, I guess. It went really viral, and I didn't think it was actually that like amazing. So it was just crazy that it's like, whoa, that happened. I don't know. I do it at training, so I just thought that was normal.
Wait, you do bulldog chokes in training?
Yeah, like I've repped that out 1,000 times already with the boys, or I get them on that. So I just thought that was a normal thing. I didn't actually know that was not a common thing until after my fight, when they're like, whoa. And I was like, well, I don't know. I just thought that was normal.
Yeah, I can only think of one. I think I can only think of one other person that ever did it, which is the UFC champion Raquel Pennington. She did that against our friend Raine, Ashley Evans Smith, she did that, but that was like almost a decade ago. I want to say, like, it was a long, long time ago. We don't normally see that. One question I have for you off the bat is: are you making room in your house somewhere for all the awards you will receive at the end of the year?
I never thought of that, truthfully. So I know, as of right now, no. Maybe I should start with making a room for my belt.
Yeah,
that'll be first.
No, I mean, Shannon, here's the problem. You did this submission victory far too early in the year. And I don't want people to forget about it. So your job, come like October, November, you start flooding the internet with videos of that choke. Because I mean, honestly, there is very unlikely to be a submission better than that in the world of mixed martial arts. I mean, it's gonna be way up there. I know I've already jotted it down for our Fight Insight Awards, which will be obviously the best award you win. But
of course,
can win MMA awards. Like, there's other awards that you will win for sure. That it's crazy. So just, mark it in your calendar now. Around October, November, just start throwing it back out into Twitter and stuff like that.
Okay.
And get that hype ball rolling. Raine, what did you think about it when you saw that choke? We've played it on the podcast a few times.
Oh, I know. I've seen it over and over again, and it's the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god!" The second time I saw it, oh my god, it's crazy.
Yeah, you are a very humble martial artist, I'll say, Shannon. When I've watched you and when I've seen some of your interviews and stuff like that, you seem very Canadian, first of all, so I appreciate it. But, what I wanted to ask is, like, you seem like you just kind of fell into martial arts or mixed martial arts. I've heard on other interviews where you said, well, I'll just take a fight. I'll just take another fight. Now you're 5-0 professional fighter, the LFA flyweight champion. That is a very coveted title. So now, what's next for MMA Barbie?
Hopefully another fight. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea. I didn't even know that this was such a big fight until afterwards. I just thought it was just another fight. Truthfully, I've been told since then how big this is, and I'm just like, whoa. But I honestly don't know what we're going to do from here. We've been talking about it, and we'll see, I guess. I don't know. I still am like, well, I don't know. Maybe I got lucky again. I don't know.
You don't get lucky 8 times in a row. You know what I mean?
I know, but I don't know. I don't look at myself as, I don't know. I critique myself a lot. I rewatch the films, and honestly, I get embarrassed watching myself because I'm just like, oh dear God, look what you just did. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That wasn't very good. I don't see a lot of good in my fighting. To be honest with you, I'm like, well, that's just embarrassing. Why would you do that there? That was, So I feel like I have a lot to improve on and work on. And hopefully someone will want me to fight again.
So this is interesting, Raine. As far as I know, Shannon, you have no manager. So when you say we will see, you just mean like what, you and your coach, you and your husband?
It's always been my coach and I. Obviously, since this fight, well, actually leading into this fight, we've had people reach out for managers. I said, I'm good right now. Let me worry about my fight. That's all I care about. Since then, we've had a lot of managers also reach out. I've talked to quite a few. I've eliminated down to several I liked. My coach has now talked to them all. We're going to probably eliminate it down, and I'll let like my husband and my dad talk to a couple just so that they can get a vibe on it. And we'll probably end up using one just because like I don't negotiate. I don't do anything. People will be like, here, this is what you're getting paid and this is it. And we've always just said, okay, sounds good. We've never negotiated anything. We've never done anything like that. We just accept it all and just like, sounds good. But now I feel like we should probably negotiate something or get my name out there somehow, not just through that video, but it's more my coach that believes that I deserve to be getting good fights now. So that's why I think we will need a manager eventually. But yeah, as of right now, I don't have one as of today.
I mean, hey, here's the thing. We talk to a lot of managers and agents on this show. If you want to message me on the side and go, hey, do you know this guy? Do you know this girl? Are they any good? I can give you my honest opinion of a few people. Because
deal. I will love that, please.
Seriously, because managers are really important, right? Like, if you have a good manager that's truly working for you, that's not like too tied into the organization and stuff like that, it's really important. But it's crazy where you've gotten to in your career on your own. Like, that's just a credit to you and your hard work and your coach. If you had to choose, would you choose UFC or PFL, Bellator, or ONE FC? If you had to choose one of the big three, I guess.
I probably would do UFC.
UFC?
Because to us, I think it's just more a huge accomplishment to make it to that level. I know that, actually, I don't know. I don't really look into any of this stuff. I've been told that money-wise, the UFC starting out isn't exactly the best pay compared to other places. But to us, it's not about the money. It's never been about anything like that. It's just more to say, hey, you know what? My coach and I, we don't train at an MMA gym, really. We literally just do our own thing. We have guys that don't fight who we train with. The Lethbridge Police, we train with those boys. They're all there for me. And it's just like to say, we've all made it there. Like, because I don't think it's me. I would never be where I am without those boys. So we've made it to this level. Well done, kind of thing.
It is crazy. Can you imagine speaking to 0-0 Shannon Clark and saying, hey, in a few years, you're going to be 5-0 with a giant belt. You got the belt there with you? Can we see it? You've got the belt?
I do. Yes, I will show it to you right here. Yep.
Woo-hoo!
A massive 14 pounds of gold.
Wow.
That is a big boy. Did you have to get on a plane? Did you have to get on a plane with that when you went home?
I did. Yes. They gave me a little like carry-on bag. I'm not going to lie. My husband or my coach, they took it for me and dealt with it. So I didn't have to, but took it on the plane ride home.
Nice. But I mean, imagine a young Shannon Clark who was just doing one or two fights just for fun. And here you are, like a champion of the world, very likely to be scouted by the big three within a very short amount of time, I would assume. Like they're going to come calling. And then I'm assuming that's what the managers are saying, right? Like, hey, sign with me and we'll get you in, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Yeah, for the most part, that's what they're saying. I still don't believe in it still. Like, I'm just like, okay, they're just buttering you up so you sign with them. I don't know. I find it still not even close to my window. I think it's so far-fetched. I'm just like, yeah, okay. It's weird to me. It's very weird.
I don't know. I mean, Raine, what do you think is next? If you were Shannon, are you looking to defend the LFA title, Raine, or are you looking to leverage this right into the big leagues? What would you be doing, Raine?
For me personally, I'd look into defending my title first. Mostly, I guess, like for me, I feel like I'm getting this vibe from Shannon that for her, it's all about fighting. Like people who want to like negotiate, bring me somewhere, a different company. If someone wants to manage me, you guys do all the business talk. I'm here to fight.
Yeah. Shannon is like, and it's just all business, Shannon training with the Lethbridge Police and all that. I think I heard before, because I believe in another interview, somebody asked you, but like, as you're saying, you're not even training at big gyms or big product places. Is that something that you're looking for? I know you've got your family, your business, your job, your family. Are you looking to just stay there and do everything from there? Or does this open up the world to you? What are you thinking?
No, my home base will always be here. Also, I don't think I could ever leave the boys that got me here. They deserve every part of this as much as I do. And unfortunately, they never get recognized. I always feel so bad because like, they're not fighters, so no one knows who they are. But I'm like, I literally would not be here if it was not for the boys and my coach at all. I mean, I'd love to go out elsewhere and train. Absolutely. All for that. But no, my home base will always be here. I can't leave.
Have you ever done any cross training and gone to another gym as a fighter to see what other things are about and then come back home? Have you done that before?
Yep, I've done it. Like I went to Dynamic in Calgary. It's a 2-hour drive for us. I went there once. I'm not really good with names, so I have no idea. They have 2 guys in the UFC, but I don't remember their names.
Okay.
From that gym. And then I've gone my parents used to have a place in Phoenix, so I'd go to the MMA lab.
Nice.
I trained with them. Yeah, that was really nice. And then my husband took me to New York last summer, so I went to some gym in New Jersey. Apparently it's a bigger gym. I forget the names of that too, but I think it's like Nick something. But yeah, so I've been to other places, but
Okay.
not like where like people didn't know me, right? Like I wasn't in LFA yet. I think when I started doing all that, it was more, I want to say it was only like 2-0 as a pro. So no one would really like you're nobody at those big gyms, right? Like, which I still am nobody at that gym in my mind, but like you're really nobody as a 2-0 pro. Like they have people in, like you said, Bellator, PFL, UFC, right? Like way bigger ones. But I'd be really curious to see if people would respect me a little bit now. I don't know, but I definitely want to go and travel. My coach, I would never go without my coach probably. So my coach and I would go, and I'd love to go try some gyms out. At least not while I'm not in fight camp, because once I'm in fight camp, stick to the boys I'm used to. Yeah.
Stick to choking out the Lethbridge police department, you know?
Exactly.
No, I think that's amazing. You know, I know our friend we had on the podcast. She's a Canadian fighter as well, Willow Morton. She went out. She was just training at Team Alpha Male. So, and you at the MMA lab. One of my good friends who I met through this podcast was Brian Bam Bam Barberina, UFC fighter, and he trained with the lab for like most of his career. So, like, yeah,
nice.
Did they teach you how to do the sign?
No, I've never been taught that one. Nope. Although I love how loyal they are for that. I love that about them. Yeah. No, but I'm also very like shy and like quiet. So actually I went to a couple classes, and again, really bad with names. A couple of the guys there that did the teaching there, I just went to like kickboxing classes and stuff at the beginning, and they were just like, you need to come to the fighter training and stuff. So I went to a couple of their fighting trainings, and it'd be like a year later, I'd come back and do it, or a year later than that. And they remembered me more so because of my long blonde hair, I think. And I'm pretty sure they're like, I remember you with the hair. And, but I haven't been there in about a year and a half. So I'd love to go back now that I've had a couple wins and just see how everything is. But it's just, yeah, that's a big gym. I love that, how big they are. That was really cool experience.
I'm thinking of who's there, and you know, for people that are watching, they might get mad at me, but I'm going to say Marcus the Maniac McGee. Did you meet him?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, him.
That dude is
I don't know,
dude.
Yeah,
we've had him on the podcast. He is the nicest guy on the planet. He just broke into the UFC about a year ago. He's won, I think, 3 fights, and all 3 he's got performance of the night bonus. So that dude is
cool. I didn't know that one. There's a couple of them I remember, and because of that, I like to follow them just because they were actually very nice. One of the guys, Benson is his last name.
Benson Henderson.
Okay, yeah, never mind. That's his first name. Yeah, him. He was there, and
he's the greatest. He's
super nice. Yeah, he was super nice. I remember doing a jiu-jitsu class from him, and I had a question, and his wife was there, and they actually worked with me, and they're like, so who are you? Like, why would you ask this question? Like, do you fight? And I was like, well, like a little bit, not really, but like just a little. And I got to do that with him. So that was really cool. I sparred him a couple times. That was just such a cool experience. And then actually one of the guys that was really nice that talked to me, again, I'm so bad with names. Something, I think his nickname or fighting name is the Gorilla. He's really big, I think.
That's terrible.
It's gonna bother me.
I think Jakar Close is there, but the Gorilla, not Darren Till.
I think no. It's now I'm gonna message you a picture of us, and then you're gonna be like, oh, that's
the big black guy.
Yeah, but what's his name? I don't remember.
He's from Alaska.
Okay. I don't.
Oh my God, Cannonier, Jared Cannonier.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Him. Yeah. So I think that's his name. I'm pretty sure that's his name. And he's really good, right? Like he's been
Yes.
around. He's
Yes, he is. Yeah,
so
he's incredible.
So I talked to him. Yeah, and I talked to him, and he actually did like a stand-up class or watched me, and he's the one that was like, "You need to come to fighter training." That's him. Yes. Super
Jared,
nice guy.
Jared the Killer Gorilla Cannoneer.
Go.
He has a crazy story. You know, he like lived in Alaska and he was like in the army and he would like do like engineering stuff on submarines. Like that guy has a crazy life.
Oh,
and
crap! I didn't know any of that.
And I also think he believes in like all the healing stones and stuff. He's a little bit like really into like the earth minerals and stuff. Yeah, he's a very cool dude. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he was super nice to talk to. I really appreciated him.
Nice. How funny is this? Raine, here's Shannon Clark, like a killer, and she's in there bulldog choking like soccer moms in kickboxing class. And they're like, can you come to the pro class, please? Like, who are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, you're in the wrong class. No, they're a really good gym. So like I said, I'd love to go back there and just see if I've improved or where I stand compared to where I was against them. For sure would be nice.
Nice. No, that gym has all legends there. They're great people. But a good friend of mine, Brian Bam Bam Barberina, grew up training there. He just recently left because he moved with his family. But he's like, great team there. Like good people. And all of the guys that fight there are just like such humble, wonderful people. So very good. Hey, you're picking up on some of that good juju vibe stuff. You know what I mean? Like, now, question that we got, will you be in Barbie 2, the movie?
Probably not. Unless they want maybe an MMA Barbie in there.
Obviously, Shannon, that's the whole point. I'm saying, wait, did you watch the Barbie movie?
I did, yes.
Okay, so I never watched it, but do they have like tennis Barbie and blah blah blah? Do they have that or no? Is it just all?
I don't think they did. I did watch it. I swear. I swear I did.
No, I did not watch the movie.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Well, anyways,
I don't watch movies.
That's right. Here's the thing, Shannon. You know how you're looking for a manager? You say, look, I need you to get me in UFC, and I want to be opposite Ryan Gosling in Barbie 2.
Those are my two demands.
Two demands, very simple, like a nice walk-on role where, like, in the background, there's a Barbie like choking someone with a bulldog choke, and that's you in the movie.
Oh, I'd be so bad in movies, though. I'd be so awkward.
No, you're just going to be choking some girl out or a Ken. Like you could be choking a Ken out in the back and it'd be funny.
While laughing, though.
Fine. Doesn't matter. We're manifesting this into reality, Shannon. That's going to be you. You're going to be in Barbie 2. Now,
then you get credit for that because it's your idea. So really.
It's fine.
You should be in on this too, then.
Producer credits, Raine and Timmy B.
Exactly.
For Barbie 2. I like it. Raine, do you have any questions that you wanted to ask Shannon?
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that you like watching film, right? And basically critiquing yourself, right? When I guess I have to ask you this first. Have you watched the film after that fight wherein you did the bulldog choke? And if so, what were your initial thoughts?
I've watched that, yes, 1,000 times. Well, no, like 5 times. But my initial thoughts, like in the fight or about that choke part, which
just in general, like when you watched it, right? When you saw it, that's what you did. You're like, oh, okay. So what were you thinking?
So the first round of that fight, though, not happy with my performance. Definitely could have done a lot of things differently. But when it came to the second, like I remember going out in a second because I've never really been on the ground in a fight before. We've always done standing, or if we've ever gone down, it's been like right up. I've never actually had to be tested on the ground. Never tested anyone on the ground. So against that, not the time probably to do it. Unfortunately, I picked the wrong fight, but I really just played around down there. I just wanted to be like, well, I wasn't like, I was like comfortable in a way. again, not now knowing how big that fight was, probably shouldn't have tested it in a title fight against a black belt jiu-jitsu girl. But the first round, it was more just like, oh, okay, like I'm okay down here. We'll see how it goes. When I should have just got my ass up or swept. I should have like swept her to get on top. I should play on the bottom. Learned that. But the second fight, or like the second round, I remember going in, and then when that opportunity presented itself, it was just, like I said, I repped it out 1,000 times. I saw it, and I was just like, here we go, switched it. And then when I leaned back on her, right, like after I stood up, I think, and then when we fell again, I put all my weight on her neck. Like I was very confused why she wasn't tapping. I had no idea she was out. Until obviously rewatching it. So I had no idea. And then I was so confused because one time, sorry to keep jumping, but like 2 fights ago against Tanya, I tried like a guillotine, and it was the first time I've ever tried anything in a fight. And like what was actually 4 seconds felt like a minute. So I was like, well, frick, obviously it's not locked in, like switch it up. And rewatching it, I was like, okay, it's only been 4 seconds, Shannon. Next time, hold it longer. Cause I think it was actually in. I just thought the timing was a lot longer. So this time I actually counted in my head. So I'm in there and I'm like, okay, it's been 1, 2, 3 seconds. And then I was like, hey, like, why are you not tapping? So then I shoved her face into the cage because I'm like, well, fuck, if I can't hurt you, this is going to hurt you. One of us is hurting you right now. I feel really bad now because I didn't know she was out. But that was my thought process that whole time. Like, bitch, like tap. And then it's like, all right, here's the cage. Here's your face. Something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting, though, that you use the cage to kind of apply some pressure. I mean, I don't want to get you in trouble, and I don't want the fight to be overturned. But is that legal? Are you allowed to do that?
I don't know. I hope so. It's not like I don't know. I don't see why. I feel like you should be able to use the cage to like push someone. It's not like I'm like hitting her against the cage. I feel like it's the same thing as when you're on like standing on the cage, right? If I put my head on her and she's stuck against the cage pinned, it'd be the same thing. Yeah,
okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue.
I don't know.
I'm not going to argue with the LFA flyweight champ, but I mean, I'm gonna look.
Maybe cut this part out. Don't get me in trouble here.
No, I won't. I'm gonna look that up though, and I'm gonna see, like, because wait, if I've got someone, can I push them against the cage to where that's like annoying them? I guess.
Because it's not poking them in the head. I mean, it's the same thing as when you're getting squished on the ground. Like if you're getting squished in the ground, like really, like because in the past, I've always been taught like push them up against the cage. Like if you're on the ground, if that was our plan, it'd be push them up against the cage. So to me, it shouldn't matter if you're squishing them. I don't know. I don't see it being an issue.
I am currently looking at the unified rules of MMA to see if there's a foul for that, but I don't think there is. Like, I mean, the only thing I can see that has anything with a fence is, of course, intentionally placing a finger into an orifice or cut or laceration. No. Throwing an opponent out of the ring, you can't do that.
That'd be very strong of someone.
I know Shannon could do it, but holding or grabbing the fence with the fingers or toes. So no, like, guess it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of rude. I don't know.
But yeah, that's crazy. Okay, well, Shannon, I do have. Hold on, I got a couple more questions for you. In the Barbie 2 movie, you said no. Who is the MMA Barbie? Here's one. Have you been charged with attempted murder?
No, and it's funny because I trained with the police boys. Yeah. So actually, rewatching that film, I was like, if I would have actually killed her, would I have gone to jail? Like, I'm so sorry and stuff. And they're like, well, no, like we signed. Right, you sign stuff being like you're not liable. And it wasn't. It's not like I knew she was out and the ref was like, get off her, and I'm like, no, she's not dead yet. Yeah, screw you. God, I'll take you too. No, I've never been in trouble. I'm such a goody good two shoes. I can't even lie. I can't do anything. I think the worst thing I ever did one time in school was I skipped one class my whole life, and I sat on the front lawn of my school with my friends and didn't even leave the school property. And that was the worst I've ever done in my whole life, I think. Like, I'm a goody good two shoes. So no, I haven't even been charged.
Here on the Fight Insight podcast, we take school very important, Shannon. That's the most disrespectful thing we've ever had anyone say on the podcast. Shannon, honestly, you are one of the nicest people we've ever had. We continually say that, Raine. Like, every time. This is very cool, Shannon, because like we reach out to like random fighters to have on the podcast. We have some people come back, obviously, but a lot of the people we meet, like for the first time, like never spoken to you before. You are just so nice, like very, very nice.
Thank you.
I'm so glad for your success and everything. When you do make it to the UFC, I don't know if there's a rule. I don't know if there's a rule that you have to dye your hair red because you're a Canadian female. Is that a rule? If that was a rule, would you do it? Would you dye your hair red?
No, I don't even dye my hair anything. So a fun fact, what I do for my fights though, my one really good friend who comes to all my fights, she's the one that created the MMA Barbie name. I don't even call myself that. She started it. People picked it up since then, and that's just what everyone calls me. So I'm like, okay, like if that's what people want to call me, whatever you want, I don't care. She puts sparkles in my hair before every single fight. So she brings a travel little thing. I'll even send you a video. It's hilarious to watch after this. And it's just like, we're in the shower at in Niagara Falls, New York or whatever. And she's putting my sparkles in my hair. And I'm not even someone like that, but she's from England, and they always put sparkles in their hair when they like dress up and go out and stuff. So my first fight, she's like, you're too pretty to fight. You're like the MMA Barbie, right? And so she's like, you're not a typical fighter. You don't have that attitude. You're way too nice. So she's like, I have to dress you up and look a little pretty for your fight. So she put sparkles in my hair, and I won. So there's like 3 or 4 things I will not change for a fight. And that's one of them. No matter what, she puts sparkles in my hair before every fight. So I won't dye it, but I'll have sparkles in it.
All right. There you go. Shannon, this is so cool to meet you. Is there anything that you wanted to say before we let you go? Is there anybody that you wanted to shout out or anything that you wanted to get out on the podcast for our viewers and listeners?
No, I will just shout out to first my family, because I have 2 babies and I could not do this without, I live 2 doors down from my parents. I work with my dad. So like basically I haven't left home either. But they help so much with my kids. If I train in the morning, they come over because my husband's shift work. So if he's out working, my mom comes over and just sleeps at the house so that I'm out training before we get them up for daycare. Like, they do so much for me. My coach, Joel Ordorsky, he is everything. The amount of stuff amount of work he's put into me is incredible. Like, everyone should have a coach like Joel. All of his focus is on me. He doesn't have other fighters. Like, I'm so blessed. And then of course the police boys, I would not be anywhere without them. They are so amazing. They show up. Like I said, they don't fight. They come, they get their asses handed to me. If it's like one of the days where they just let me beat them up, they let me do everything I can to them. They're all bigger. So don't get me wrong. They beat the shit out of me way more than I do to them. They're all way bigger than me. But if it's a day where they're like, no, Shannon, you can win, they let me. And they've walked away with a lot of bruises and cuts, and they go home to their families. They'll be like, oh, is it a tough day at work? And they're like, no, it's Shannon. But I am so grateful for them, and I would not be anywhere without those boys.
That's amazing. Shannon, it's such a good story. Like, I'm so happy for you. I feel like, here's one of the things too, Raine. Sometimes we talk to fighters on the podcast, and it's like, some of them don't have like a crazy personality or like too much of a personality or too much, but you've got the perfect amount, Shannon. Like, I feel like you've got the personality, you've got the charisma. So like, this is another thing that like, when you make it and when you're at that next stage or whatever, the interviews with you, the background stories and things like that, it's all going to be fantastic because you're marketable. Like, you're the MMA Barbie, for God's sakes. Right. So it's all destined.
Thank you.
Shannon, I'm going to ask you one last question before we let you go. It's a question that my mom used to ask me almost every day growing up. You're a family person, so am I. So
Yeah.
My mom always asked me. I'm going to ask you. So Shannon, MMA Barbie Clark, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you?
Oh, I'm like a 20. I'm so grateful and happy. Like I said, I don't realize how big of a fight that is, but like to have even people want to talk to me or watch me, it's insane to me. Like I don't think I could ever get used to that. Like when people are like, "Do you want to do an interview?" I'm like, "Why the hell do you want to interview me?" Like, okay. Or if people like message me, like anyone that messaged me on social media, I respond. I'm like, "Thank you so much. Like that means so much to me." So I just hope people still want to watch me after this. I really, fingers crossed, hope. But yeah, like thank you guys so much. It means a lot that someone even cares.
No, thank you, Shannon. And I will say, like, you were so lovely to come on this podcast and say yes to this. You know, it's very cool. But like, we're so happy for you. We're so excited to see whatever's next in your future. We do hope that you come back on the podcast to celebrate.
Anytime I will.
Yeah, and that's right. Raine and I would like tickets to the premiere of Barbie 2.
You'll have to watch the first one then. No.
Fine, I'll talk with her. But I'm serious. When you talk to the manager, and I'm serious about the manager thing, you can message me if you want, because I can tell you some good people. But,
I'm going to as soon as this is done.
Yeah, but I'm not kidding. Ask to be in Barbie 2 and see what they say. I mean, these guys live in like Vegas and the Hollywood deal and blah blah.
They have connections. Yeah, they know people.
So if you say, hey,
that's true.
I'm the MMA Barbie. Get me in Barbie 2. It could happen. I don't know. I'm just saying. But
okay, well, I got to tell you a story quickly before that. I don't know if you understand how bad I am at confidence or about like interview stuff. Like when LFA asks to do like, well, they don't ask, they tell you have to do it, but they do like the live interviews. Oh dear God. They have the the Instagram story. It took me my first time with them, because I've never done it before. My first time with it took, I'm not exaggerating, over 40 takes. It got to the point they told me what to say because of how bad they're like, you're not confident, redo. And they'd be like, stop underestimating your abilities, redo. And they're like, so they do that. And it got so bad that my coach went to the back of the room and he's just in the corner dying laughing at me because it was so bad. There's a couple guys like that was their turn, but because mine was taking so long, they're lined up, they're dying laughing at me. And then this last one, his name's Ryan, and he was like, all right, Shannon, we're not asking you questions. This is going to be easy. Introduce yourself, tell us what you're fighting for, and tell everyone to tune in. So we practiced it a few times. Him and they like scheduled me like 2 slots because they knew it'd take forever. And either like when I put my finger up, it's your time to go. So it goes like this, and I'm just like, and he's like, okay, take 2. Let's have some words. Let's have some talking. And then it would take me so long that they're like, do you want some cue cards? Because I couldn't even do like introduce myself. Couldn't tell. I'd be like, I'd say like, I'm Shannon Clark. I'm fighting for the 125 flyweight. And they're like, that's the same thing. It's one or the other. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm just like, and again, Joel's there and he's dying laughing. I mean, it only took me about like 20 some takes to get this one out. But like, so the movie, as long as I'm in the background, maybe, and I don't talk, then maybe we can, maybe then it'd be good.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. When you were just telling me that story, I don't like the way can you redo it? No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, sure. What do you want me to say? I would.
I will say, you said that they said something about don't underestimate your abilities or something like that. I will say, in speaking to you very quickly, and I'll let you go because we've taken you way longer than we should. But,
no worries.
When you said that you watch back your fights and you find like lots of problems with it, that's very, very good. Like, you know, Raine is one of the greatest ring announcers in the world, but she's out in California kicking ass at Up Next Fighting.
I paid him to say that, by the way.
No. But like, you know, but we talk, you know, and I did the commentating at Fight League Atlantic and stuff like that. But we talk about like the importance of like looking back at your work and trying to get better all the time. And as an undefeated fighter, Raine, it's so funny because we just talked about this with Cody, right?
Cody Brundage.
With Cody Brundage about, yes, I knew his last name. Did I? Yeah. We talked about with Cody Brundage about like the importance of like learning from mistakes and stuff like that, right? As an undefeated fighter, it's tough because sometimes you don't have too many mistakes. But I like that you're pointing out like, hey, here's the things I did wrong, because that means you're always trying to grow and always trying to improve, which is very, very important. So I'm very happy to hear that.
Yes. Actually, it's easier for me to point out my mistakes than what I do good. Like we made a list of that, and I think I had like one thing on this last fight that I even did good. And then I have about like 20 things of what I need to work on, because I'm just like, oh.
And that's how you improve, though.
That's
Because
right.
you love your craft.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what makes
exactly.
that is what going to make you a champion. That's what's going to carry you far. Look, you're a financial advisor, so people trust you with their money. Like you've got to be a good person and all that. So Shannon, thank you so much for joining the podcast. We'll definitely have you again. We'll have you on again. We will see you again.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
And that was our interview with Shannon Clark. We will see you guys next week. Bye.